From each happily ever after, every wish upon a star. Let's break down the movies that shaped who we are. From memory lane to now and everything in between. The most famous of films to the ones we've never seen. Decade by decade, all the times we laughed and cried. And with a little pixie dust, they will all take flight. Reliving the feelings, and we're trying our very best. And if they mean the same to you, please be our guest. So hop aboard, we would love to have you as we hang with a certain mouth, the whole gang too. If you love nostalgia stuff, we hope this does the trick. Thanks for joining us as we deep dive the magic.
Hi, and welcome back to the Deep Diving the Magic podcast. I'm KJ.
And I'm Jeffrey, and we are back today with the 120th Disney feature-length film from the date of July the 1st of the year 1975. It is a film called The Apple Dumpling Gang. The Apple Dumpling Gang is based on a book of the same name by Jack Bickham, and it is introducing a number of famous characters, including the legendary Don Knotts in his Disney feature-length film debut, and the return of our friend Slim Pickens, who has the best name in any Disney film ever. Slim Pickens, that's his name. Would you like to start us off with a synopsis about the Apple Dumpling Gang from July the 1st, 1975?
3 orphan children strike gold in 1878 California.
I mean, there's a whole lot more involved than them just striking gold, but
That's the IMDb synopsis, and sometimes it gives us a little, sometimes it gives us the whole movie, sometimes it gives us nothing.
It's true. But would you like to start us off with your opening thoughts on the Apple Dumpling Gang?
I had never heard of it, but I was a big fan of Barney Fife, so
Yep, Don Knotts.
I thought I would probably like it, but I wasn't sure because for some reason I thought there was something controversial about this film, I guess, but I'd never seen it, so I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into when I went to watch it.
This is the first time that him and that whatever Tim Conway guy were together in a film, and they were in a bunch of films together later on after this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's got a heck of a cast. It's got a big cast, and it's a fun one. Any facts or anything, or you want to just go ahead and jump right into the Apple Dumpling Gang?
So, the actresses Susan Clark and Stacey Manning were actually afraid of horses, so most of the time they were on mechanical horses if they were
Which actress?
on
The
them.
little girl, and then
I believe, yeah.
the motherly character who's I forgot her name, Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else? So you want to just go ahead and jump right in?
It is set in the fictional town of Quake City, California.
Correct.
That's really all I got. That won't give stuff away,
And we
so
all know about those 49ers going to California
I
to
can
try
just
to get
pepper it
money.
in.
Yeah, cool. All right. So like many films lately, we see a horse riding through a field and a town during the opening credits. But this time, when the person's riding into town, we see that there's a couple of bad men creeping on the passerby in the night. They mask up and they attempt to rob the guy, but then they bumble and everything goes wrong, and that sets us up for this film.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we're off to a comedic start.
Townsmen are playing poker, and they're reminiscing about the gold chase, and there's a new man there. Who will become our main character. There's a new man there who is past Mr. Donovan. His last name is Donovan.
Donovan.
That's his last name. Yep, Mr. Donovan. So he is passing through because he's trying to get to New Orleans. And he decides to win his money and test his luck in some poker. But then another man shows up in a huff. And he's like, Wintle. Yeah. And he's like, I have to leave. I have to leave. I have to leave town before my valuables arrive. And everybody's like, I'm sick of you. You're a burden. And they all won't talk to him. But then he realizes that he knows this this Mr. Donovan guy, and he's like, "Will you sign for my valuables?" And he like try to like hides his face so like he won't see him, but then he catches him and gives him $5 to sign for his valuable. He agrees. And then the fun Apple Dumpling Gang song starts to play as we start the film.
Mhm.
We then see a
Did you find it weird that Wintle had like a an English accent? Or
maybe
did you
he
notice that?
caught on the ship. I don't know.
Caught it on the ship?
Yeah, he caught to get on the ship. Like he caught the ship to get on it and came over on the Mayflower and moved across country.
Well, he
I'm
lived a
joking.
very long
Yeah.
time.
Um, we then see a horse and carriage pull up that has children on it, and we
Mhm.
quickly learn that the valuables arriving are actually three orphans. Want to talk about these orphans?
It's two little boys and a little girl, and the little girl can't hold it for long, but she has to pee all the
All the time. Her name is Celia. I don't know. I don't know the two little boys' names, but her name is Celia.
Had you not said anything, I could have told you. No, I don't
One has a
remember.
normal name and one has a wacky name, but
Clovis and Bobby.
yeah. And Celia.
And Clovis don't like to be touched.
Yep. Yep. So there you go. So the
He's my favorite.
little girl, Celia has to pee a lot. Clovis hates being touched and will kick you if you touch him. And the oldest Bobby is
Normal
the
kid.
ringleader. The man pleads to not have to take the children, and the little girl has to use the bathroom, which causes a bunch of hijinks and nonsense. And he has to take them because he shook on the $5 to sign for the thing. So the town makes him take care of them, and they let him stay at so and so's property.
Wintle's house.
Yeah,
Which was the guy that was the valuables belonged to.
yeah, but it's like a dump. It's falling apart. So the man is forced to keep the kids by law. A Disney storm comes, causing some chaos in the old shack and scaring the new children. There is no dry place in the shack. He's making this food, and um, they're not like it's just like fat pork or whatever. And the kids are like, "No, we want apple dumplings," which made me realize that the kids are actually the apple dumpling gang, not Don Knotts and Tim Conway's characters. But we'll get there. So there's some more hijinks, and then there's a lady that arrives. Um, a,
Duffy.
a lady that arrives. Her name is Dusty, like we said, and I just lost my space. She shows up with leftover food,
Hmm.
stew, the best stew they ever had. Her father is like a higher up in the town or whatever, like
Yeah.
one of the law enforcement people or whatever. Let me see where I was. I lost my space. The lady arrives with some extra stew to save the day, and the man tries to convince the lady to take the children. But she won't, because it's his responsibility, and the youngest, again, Celia, warms up to Mr. Donovan. She like snuggles up to him,
Because she was getting wet again.
and she also has to use the bathroom. The next day, he tries to pass the children off onto anybody who will listen. He's like going like house to house, try to pass these children off. Because remember, he's just passing through to get to New Orleans and to win some money. The children end up causing some mischief. They let some dogs in the chicken coop. A bunch of hijinks comes. Anything you want to touch on that, or keep plugging away?
It was mainly the little girl.
Yep. The girl almost gets trampled by a runaway horse carriage that's on fire, but Mr. Donovan saves her and warms up to her some more. However, that night, when they're going to bed, he leaves the children alone because he wants to go play some poker,
Mhm.
win some money. And he does. Come next morning, they are walking, the kids, whether they're going to find Miss Donovan, I don't know, they're just adventuring already. And they mess with like a mechanical music player. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a organ that plays every instrument, like at the Biggie.
Yeah.
Um, they end up in a very culturally inappropriate, joke-filled part of town that we don't need to cover.
Yeah.
I don't even know why it was needed in the film, but whatever.
Maybe that was the controversial part that I
Maybe. Um, and the children find a mine because they had been told by their parents before their parents passed away that there's gold in this mine.
Mhm.
Children find a mine, but at the same time, the outlaws from earlier,
Mhm.
um, I don't remember their names, but again, they're played by Tim Conway and Don Knotts, the ones that always get everything wrong. They see the man winning at poker, so they say that they're gonna rob this dude. Like the outlaws are bumbling idiots, but they're gonna rob this guy.
Mhm.
They also say the word dude, which I wonder if it's the first time dude was used in a Disney film. But they're bumbling idiots, so they are not able to do anything that they're trying to do. More on that later. But the kids dangerously venture into the mine.
So the outlaws you couldn't remember, one of them's Theodore and the other one's Amos.
Okay. Um,
Sorry, I knew I had that wrote down.
Backstory on them real quick. They used to be part of like a big gang of outlaws, but the one
The Stillwell gang.
the Stillwell gang, the one that's played by Tim Conway, accidentally shot the leader in the leg, so they got exiled from the gang.
Yeah.
More on that later. The children
Stay tuned.
uh venture dangerously into the mine.
Mhm.
Um and before they do that, after they do that, they get unsafely in a moving minecart that's speeding down the hill. Want to talk about that?
No, not really, because I was just like, that's not safe at all. And you're like, oh, it couldn't be that bad.
So they climb into like a mine car, but there's like the end of the tracks, and they go flying through the town. It causes a ton of uproar and destruction in the
Mhm.
town. It even breaks expensive artifacts, including that music player. Makes a mess. So Mr. Donovan, unfortunately, has to use all of his recent poker winnings to pay for the children's destruction. So he is like, he's getting rid of them.
Should have been watching his kids.
So that night, he tries to leave the children to sleep again, but this time that girl, Dusty, shows up. No, just kidding. As he's about to leave, Celia needs to use the bathroom again. And this is where that she admits to him that she likes him and she likes him being their caretaker. We also see the outlaws again
Mhm.
that are trying to rob Mr. Donovan because they think that he won all that money in poker. But they're very clumsily unsuccessful. They blow their cover. It's just a mess. Um, we see him walking, and first off, we see Dusty, our main lady character,
Mhm.
who is looking in the shop window, admiring a very fancy bedposts.
Fancy bedpost.
Maybe she thinks she could pull the bed knob off and go on an adventure like bed knobs and broomsticks. But she's very excited about this bedpost, and she is like yearning for this. So on his walk, Mr. Donovan catches up with her and he smoozes with her. Um, but she says that she has to go to work. Like she's off. She's got I forgot. Like her father was going to the bar because he's a drinker, and
Mhm.
she was like, I gotta do this. I gotta change this. I gotta like she's responsible.
Mhm.
The next morning, he was clearly playing poker all night because he's very hungover, and the children come to get him, and they are going to the mines. Um, and we also see that at this point, he lost like his cherished token that he had in poker. I think it was like an earring.
Oh, some kind of gold something.
Um, the bumbling outlaws end up they they end up like thinking that they're being ambushed by a bunch of people, and then they end up talking like, well, if you die, I die. We're going down together. They have like this heartfelt moment,
Mhm.
and then they end up they think they're being ambushed, but it's really just the children trying to find the mine.
Mhm.
So more hijinks. But the children they venture deeper and deeper into the mine, but continue to get scared. There's a Disney owl.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things going on. Things start to shake and quake though, because that is the name of the town, and they're having an earthquake, so they flee, trying to find safety in a very terrifying scene. Want to talk about that scene?
Yeah, the middle brother tells Celia to stop shaking the place.
Mhm.
And she said, I'm not. She was just holding on, and he was like, stop shaking us.
Yeah. Very terrifying scene. Of course, the youngest girl needs to use the bathroom. Oh, they look for a way out. They're trying to find a way out. They're not where they expect to be, but what do they find? A big chunk of gold. It's a good thing for that earthquake, otherwise they would never found it. A
True.
big chunk of gold. It then cuts to them at the bank getting their nuggets weighed and priced, and everybody is so excited. This is worth some money. Lots of money. And then we see that the outlaws are trying to plan how they're going to steal the gold from the bank very goofily.
Yeah.
It's at this time that while they're outside talking and trying to not to blow their cover, um, one of their one of them catches on fire, and the guy says, "Your rear end is on fire," and then he uses his like the dude's pants to light his cigarette and stuff.
Hmm.
So just more hijinks. The children get new clothes, and they finally get to eat their apple dumplings because everything is turning up Millhouse. Like everything is going great for them.
Yes, and he tells them that they can have as many apple dumplings as they want.
It's going to come into play later.
Mm.
Mr. Donovan is obviously taking a liking for the children, but we also learn that everybody in the town is now taking a liking for the children, and everybody wants to adopt the children due to the gold.
They just want access to the gold. They're not
Uh,
good people.
so the women are fighting over the young girl, and one of them rips her new dress, and then Mr. Donovan comes to the rescue. Um,
And he tells her they're gonna fix it.
so then Mr. Donovan is talking to there's like this guy, I don't know his name, you might write his name down, but he's the judge, he's the barber, he's the justice of the peace, like he's just the guy in the town that does everything.
I did have it.
McDougal or something? McDuff?
Homer McCoy.
Oh,
Macduff is Juno.
I know that, but um McCoy. So he's like basically McCoy is talking to Mr. Donovan, and they say like, "Hey, you should marry Dusty for the children, of course."
Mhm.
Before they have a hearing in the court about their fate.
Mhm.
And they could just do it like they could just like trick the system so that way the kids are in good hands after Mr. Donovan leaves.
Mhm.
Did I miss anything?
Mhm.
The kids don't want Mr. Donovan to forget about them, so they have like this really nice like sentimental scene, like a very sad scene about like if you're gonna go to New Orleans and you're gonna leave us, don't forget about us. They like pick flowers, and he totally like sees between the lines that they want him to propose to Dusty, so he decides to go ask the lady to marry him for the children, of course. Um, but that night, while he's doing this, um, in probably the best scene in the whole entire movie, the bumbling outlaws begin their attempt to rob the bank. But first, they have to steal the ladder from the fire department. And like the firemen are sleeping, the fire dog is sleeping, and they cause this giant scene because they keep like pulling the ladder,
Mhm.
and like the ladder keeps growing because it's like an extendable ladder.
Yeah.
Very funny. I recommend you all watching it, and then let us know. Deep dive in the magicpod@gmail.com. They end up breaking a window. It's a very, very funny slapstick scene. Mr. Donovan sees the outlaws on his trip to find the lady. More nonsense, and they're basically trying to get on the bank, on the roof of the bank,
Mhm.
and like they're fighting over who goes over. The ladder's like cracking or whatever.
They're stepping on each other's
Nonsense.
hands.
One of them falls from the ladder, and we hear like the famous Goofy yell.
Mhm.
Um, but Miss Donovan goes and talks to Dusty about getting married. She obviously pushes back because she thinks that he only wants to marry her
To push the kids off on her.
to push not only to push the kids off on her, but like to do things that come with a marriage that she doesn't want to do with him.
Mhm.
So she pushes back on the marriage plan. We then see more bank robbing nonsense. So the children go to look for him. They actually find the outlaws in another funny scene. Um, but then it cuts to the next morning, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look what we found in the bank! Look what's in here!" And it makes you think they're like, "Oh my gosh, they robbed it! They did it!" But the men are actually just hanging there, stuck, giving themselves away. Finally, we found out that the outlaws got into the bank, but they failed to steal their gold and left themselves sitting stuck to be found guilty. They are let go as long as they report to the gallows at 12 noon. So basically, they just want them to like leave, like just get out of here. Like they're like come back to the gallows, but bring your own rope. Like they just want them to leave. Um, but at this point, we see the real outlaws, the still water.
Deal. Stillwater, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the real outlaws that these guys
Stillwell, sorry.
is Stillwell, um, from the Bumbling Guys old gang, and they are planning to attack to steal the gold and obtain it as well.
Hmm.
Anything about them? That's the guy that plays that is that guy, Slim Pickens,
Yeah.
who sounds like Friar Tuck from
But
Robin
it's
Hood, but it's
not.
not. So the children and their new father
What
and
did I do?
their new to be mother arrive to be wed because she's going to go through with it. So they go to this justice of the peace guy who's also cutting someone's hair and shaving someone's beard, and he's like, "All right, well, he's going to go cut him."
Mhm.
She still isn't sold about it, but she's doing it for the children. So then they get pronounced hitched, as they say, and then they shake on it instead of kissing on it, and it costs them $2.
Mhm. And the ring came from some kind of
Like an
canister
after, like an
thing.
aftershave bottle or
Yeah,
something.
from his barber
Yeah.
shop.
The kids go with Dusty while Donovan goes to celebrate.
Mhm.
Donovan goes with the Justice of the Peace to get a beer
Mhm.
or a drink or whatever, and then the kids, now responsible, go with Dusty.
Mhm.
But as she's walking by the store, she sees that the bed is
No,
gone.
she walked into the store. She
Well,
said they were going to do their own celebrating.
oh,
And she said, you each can have one licorice whip and one jelly bean. And I thought, one jelly
hey,
bean?
that's nice for them.
That's weird. But anyway.
But then she realizes that the bed is gone, and she asks who bought the beautiful bed.
Well, it's still there, but it says sold on it.
Yeah, and we find out that Donovan bought the bed, which makes her think that again, doing things that people do, I guess, when they're married, she starts to think that he lied to her about the reason that they got hitched.
Mhm.
Would you like to talk about this scene that she confronts him in the saloon?
She storms out of the store, runs into the saloon, and basically starts a bar fight with him.
They get into this wild slapstick, old west style bar fight. There, like
Yeah.
things are
And then
breaking.
finally,
What was that film that
she
we
says
watched?
what it was about, and then he tells her, he's like, I bought the bed for the boys and the smaller bed for Celia. And she was like, oh, well, if you would have just said that, we could have avoided all of this.
Um,
And then she just leaves again.
well, so yeah, so it's like this wild, drawn out thing. What was the scene? Was it in The Happiest Millionaire
Mhm.
where like they're like fighting in the
Sounds
bar?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good scene too. Everyone's like, "What happened to these two?" And they're like, "Oh, they got married." But they had this giant fight.
Hmm.
But like you said, he actually bought the bed for the children. And she goes, "Why did you just say that in the first place?" Like you said. Then she grabs Celia and she's like, "Time to go. The saloon is no place for a lady." Um, so then they cut to the courtroom where it's adoption day, and everybody gets to speak their piece, and like the whole town is fighting, and everybody wants the children for the money, and the Donovans are awarded the children, which we knew was going to happen because now they're married.
Yeah.
But at the last second, the jerk, whose name I don't remember, Wendell
Hmm.
or whatever, from earlier, has returned to claim his children, clearly for the money, and he has a lawyer. And due to the lawyer's court order, the children have to go with the returning man. Anything on that?
Well, it was kind of a letdown.
From a high to a low.
Yeah.
So the real outlaw, but then the real outlaws, the Stillwell gang, the leader guy, like the Mr. Stillwell, disguises himself as a preacher to learn more about the gold. And he's talking to a drunk Dusty's father about he gets all the information when the gold's being moved, how to get into the bank. Like he gets everything
Mhm.
because he's pretending to be a preacher and who doesn't believe the preacher. So then, where am I? the real outlaws, and then they uh Mr. Donovan gives Dusty the annulment papers because obviously they don't need to be married anymore, and says that he is now heading east because he has lost the children. And they have a great conversation about themselves and the children, and they shake hands on it instead of kissing. And then Dusty takes off her wedding band. But then we see the bumbling outlaws,
Mhm.
afraid of getting caught up again, obviously, and they are very much just like not leaving their hideouts because if they get caught, they're going to get hanged. But then the children go to see
And
them.
one of them sitting in front of a fire that has gone out 3 days
A
ago.
not lit fire,
Yeah.
yeah. But they see the children again. The children have come to them. The children want the outlaws to steal the gold. They want them to have it. Like they will help them rob the bank because if they take the gold, they don't have to go back with Wendell or whatever his name is, and they'll be able to go with Donovan because Donovan will take care of
Wenzel.
them. Donovan will take care of them, and they will get given all the apple dumplings that they would like.
Mhm.
And they're like, "It's our gold. We can give it to you." This is where they get called the Apple Dumpling Gang for the first time because the outlaws like don't want to get the gold given to them by children because how can they tell that story? And they'll say, "Oh," then they're like, "Oh, we'll just say that we robbed it from the Apple Dumpling Gang."
Mhm.
They all start to devise a plan. They're going to steal the fire carriage to begin their process. But at the same time, we also see that the outlaw, dressed as the preacher, Mr. Stillwell, forces his way into the bank with a gun,
Mhm.
and the children spot the bank robber, but they end up getting caught by the real outlaw gang, and but the gang ends up bringing the children into the bank like idiots. And that's where I said maybe the bumbling ones weren't that far from the rest of the gang then if they are just dumb and making stupid mistakes. At the same time, the bumbling ones break in and see their upset old running mates, including the leader who got shot in the leg, and then lots of guns and faces and threats of
Mhm.
dynamite.
Yep.
Um, the children start to try to stop the robbery, to allow the robbery that they want to happen, but the outlaw preacher guy touches the boy. Oh yeah, the outlaw preacher guy touches the boy, and we all know what happens when you touch the boy. He kicks him in the leg, and we all know what happened to this dude's leg. He got shot in the leg, so then that causes a whole bunch of hijinks. There's a whole big shootout with the law. Everything ensues. Lots of Wild West shootout shenanigans. So they decided that they're going to leave the gold and they're going to flee, but they are going to kidnap Celia and they flee, while keeping her hostage. So then, a horse chase for the children is like in route. The Donovans against the Stillwells, a lot of gunfire. Um, They are able to free Celia, but this causes the getaway vehicle to enter the water rapids with Stillwell and Mr. Donovan still on it. There's a big fist fight. Donovan knocks the criminal into the water, but then saves him. Uh, and then after this, Dusty and Donovan embrace and they kiss for the first time and they fall into the water and they don't care that they're gonna get drowned because they're all just excited. And so the lawmen come for the criminal,
Mhm.
but then we see a big explosion. This giant explosion goes off, and we see that the bank is destroyed. Oops. We talk about the bank being destroyed by the dynamite that finally went off.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's supposed to be like wet dynamite or something. I
Hmm.
don't know. Anyway, so they all go look at the bank. The only thing that looks like it's standing of the bank, I would assume, is like the
The
safe.
vault.
Yeah,
Yes, they're
and
made that way.
huh?
They're made that way.
Oh, I figured. So, but then when they open it,
Well, before that, there's pieces of gold everywhere, and the crowd's going crazy.
okay, but when they open it, they find Amos and Theodore
Hmm.
standing in there because they got locked into the vault.
They can't do anything right. Um, the gold has been blown into many, many small nuggets, and the town people are scavenging for and they fight for all the little pieces of riches. And then the guy that owns the bank is all like just distraught. And then the Justice of the Peace guy is like, a man that can fill it inside straight like you can don't need a bank. Um, uh, at this point, Wendell relinquishes the children because they're no use to him, and he leaves.
Mhm.
And at that point, like you said, the bank safe opens, and we see the bumbling criminals inside having caused the whole thing, and they wave towards the children. Dun, dun, dun. Donovan gets $5,000 for turning in Mr. Stillwell, which allows him to be able to leave. But they also say that he could have the deed to the Benson place, and he's like going to take the money because he's going to New Orleans. But then we see Mrs. Donovan, Dusty, come down, and she's very much dressed like a Southern Belle lady, like she's decked out, not wearing like her worker clothes finally. Come down all dressed up, and he returns the money and takes the deed because he's going to return back to the residence with the children and his family.
Yeah.
At the same time, her Dusty's father's going to live with them, and then as they're traveling back to their place, we see the bumbling criminals pretending to hold them up, but they end up just climbing on the carriage to leave with the new family, and they all sing the song. Everybody's laughing, having a
With their
great time.
donkey. They had
Yep.
a donkey too, so they're bringing their donkey.
So the end of the film, everybody's laughing and smiling. The end, just kidding, because Celia needs to use the bathroom again. And
Yeah.
that's the end. And this was a heck of a fun film.
Yeah.
I'm happy we watched it. But would you like to give us any facts or anything else?
I think if there was anything else I didn't touch on. So Theodore told Amos that he would want them to be together in the afterlife uh, when he thinks they're about to be jumped by a gang of a bunch of people, and it turned out to be the kids. And it turns out that the two actors, Don Knotts and Tim Conway, like you mentioned, are buried in the same cemetery and at less than 100 yards from one another. And then they did, I think you touched on a little bit, appeared together in a few movies after that, Cannonball 2, 1984, and then The Private Eyes in 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I
How about
have.
ratings?
So ratings, IMDb gave it a 6.4 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it an 8 out of 10
Solid answer. Why did you give it an 8 out of 10? What were your feelings?
because I absolutely loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was humorous. It was cute. Um, it was definitely a fun family movie.
I agree. It was fantastic. It was great.
Mhm.
Happy we watched it. I hope the next one is just as good. It was solid. It was really good. So talk to me about your list upon a star here. Where are you putting it? Are you putting it on there at all? On the chopping block for you, all the way back from film number 27 is The Lady and the Tramp.
Oh yeah.
Think of the spaghetti scene. Think of my parents. I'm just kidding. Does it make you list upon a star?
It does. I really enjoyed it. It actually makes me want to eat some apple dumplings.
For the spaghetti from The Lady and the Tramp?
Yes, very much so. I am a sweet tooth, so I would definitely pick apple dumplings over spaghetti. But so my list upon a star is 101 Dalmatians, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, The Apple Dumpling Gang, The Strongest Man in the World, Napoleon and Samantha, Snowball Express, The Jungle Book, and then that would take away.
So
Oh, and the Aristocats, and then that takes away Lady and the Tramp.
the apple dumpling thing is your number 10.
No, the Apple Dumpling Gang I already put in there.
Oh, did you? I didn't hear you. Where was it?
I put it right above The Strongest Man in the World.
Oh, read it again. I'm sorry, I blanked.
So 101 Dalmatians, The Parent Trap, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, The Apple Dumpling Gang, The Strongest Man in the World, Napoleon and Samantha, The Snowball Express, The Jungle Book, and The Aristocats.
All right, well, all the way back from film number 27, all the
Mhm.
way back from the year 1955 or 53, something like that, sometime in the 50s, and Lady and the Tramp has left our list. Speaking of long tenured movies, my current number 10
Mhm.
is the second film that we ever watched, Pinocchio, from the year 1940. It has been
That's
on
crazy
what?
that it's still there.
For 35 years.
Yeah,
Over 100 films.
kind of annoying.
Like 120 films. It's been on this list.
Obviously, I wasn't a big fan. So.
35 years, almost 120 films. Well, it's getting the boot because I loved this film and wow, Pinocchio, what a run. Such a run. Over 100 films, almost 120.
What a run.
So my list upon a star currently is 101 Dalmatians, followed by Mary Poppins, followed by Peter Pan, followed by the Robin Hood, followed by Alice in Wonderland, followed by Bedknobs and Broomsticks, followed by Babes in Toyland, followed by the Apple Dumpling Gang, our new friends, followed by Napoleon and Samantha, and my new number 10, now on the chopping block, is the Aristocats. I can't believe Pinocchio has gone to the wayside. Speaking of the wayside, we will put that right here for everybody to look at. Yeah, the Apple Dumpling Gang. It's here, man. It was fun. It was good, and Pinocchio is no longer on my list. So 35 years it was on there. Yeah. Have you watched the Apple Dumpling Gang? Did you like it as much as we did? We would love to hear from you. Deep dive into magic pod at
Anything for
gmail.com.
gravy.
It was good. Don Knotts is great.
Yeah.
But either way, we are on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube. We would love to hear from you. Give us a like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. Shoot us a message. Speaking of messages, deep diving the magic pod at gmail.com. Let us know about Celia having to go pee every 5 minutes. But that was great. 120 films. 118 films. Pinocchio was on that list. But speaking of that, our next film is from 8 days later
Mhm.
for film number 121. And it is a film called One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing. We will see you next time for One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing.
Thanks for deep diving the magic.
Bye.
Bye.